KTLA 5's John Fenolio joins us live in studio with reaction to the First Lady's passing. John?
Sharon, Micah, her friends and family say Barbara Bush left the world the way she lived it, with dignity and grace. Reactions from both sides of the political aisle and beyond underscore the impact she had on so many, especially her family. The matriarch of a political dynasty, Barbara Bush was one of only 2 women in American history to be both the wife and mother of a U.S. president.
America loves Barbara Bush.
Born Barbara Pierce in Queens, New York, she was 16 when she met a young man at a Connecticut country club who would change her life, George Herbert Walker Bush.
I married the first man I ever kissed.
Together, they had 6 children. Mrs. Bush remained out of the spotlight during her husband's early years in politics. That is, until he was elected as Ronald Reagan's vice president in 1980. And 8 years later, became the 41st president. As First Lady, she loved the White House and established a nonprofit dedicated to literacy and raised hundreds of thousands of dollars. Those closest to her say service was at her core.
Somewhere out in this audience may even be someone who will one day follow in my footsteps and preside over the White House as the president's spouse, and I wish him well.
She was also famously blunt.
Mother was on the front line and expressed herself frequently. And so Mother was there to maintain order and discipline. She was the sergeant.
I am the enforcer. There's no question about it.
President Trump responding in a statement saying in part, she will long be remembered for her devotion to country and family, both of which she served unfailingly well. Former President and First Lady Obama calling Mrs. Bush an example of the humility and decency that reflects the very best of the American spirit.
I have enormous admiration and affection for Mrs. Bush. I know what it's like to be a spouse as well as a candidate. I'd walk across coals for her. I think she's immensely impressive, and I get why they fell in love and how they stayed together all those years.
73 years to be precise. Barbara Bush was fiercely devoted to her husband, their love documented in hundreds of letters.
I love you, precious, with all my heart, and to know that you love me means my life. How often I have thought about the immeasurable joy that will be ours someday. How lucky our children will be to have a mother like you.
Above all else, she cherished family.
I know that I'm the world's luckiest woman. I think if I sort of put it in a nutshell, these are the things that are important to me: faith, family, and friends.
Former President George H.W. Bush reportedly held his wife's hand all day until she passed away. Barbara Bush was 92. Back to you.
John, thank you.